Hello, fellow Columbans. I'm David. Sometimes an image or phrase from Sunday worship lingers to comfort or challenge us. For me this week, it's the verse Jesus speaks to his disciples about their enduring relationship to God. In my Father's house, there are many dwelling places. On the night before his crucifixion, Jesus says to this anxious group, "Do not let your hearts be troubled. Believe in God. Believe also in me. In my Father's house there are many dwelling places. If it were not so, would I have told you that I go to prepare a place for you?" This beloved passage is often read at funerals, and I treasure the promise that death does not separate us from God. But I'm also thinking about how Jesus might intend for us to apply these words during our lifetimes, and especially now when grief and uncertainty make our hearts troubled. What if the place Jesus has prepared for us in love is the one we occupy today? Do our lives reveal that we dwell in places touched by God? Last year, I spent months preparing for the sale of the house where 3 generations of my family had lived. Along with sadness, this task also filled me with thanks. Photos, letters, and memorabilia I came across renewed my awareness that my family's dwelling place was, and remains, part of the house of God that Jesus speaks about. Jesus' love shines through in their hope, generosity, and courage, and in the times of loss and disappointment they bore together. My family's life is now woven into the life of God, a legacy that blesses me in my dwelling place today. Rather than picture God as one who presides over a physical house, I understand God as the head of an infinitely varied and welcoming household. Over the past 2 months, we who are fortunate enough to have homes and computers have been given small glimpses into one another's dwelling places. It's a great gift to know that God is present in our individual spaces, even as we gather as a household of God's children. These days, it's easy for me to focus on me and my dwelling place, but the love of Jesus also draws me outward. So when I feel anxious and vulnerable, I turn to God and feel comfort and strength, and am moved to seek out the care and company of family and friends. When I feel restless and uneasy, Jesus calls me to remember how relatively safe I am among many who are at greater risk, and to look for opportunities to share God's love. And when I feel content and at peace, Jesus reminds me that all my blessings begin in God, and that I am part of an interdependent world. Wherever we make our home, when we quiet ourselves long enough to hear Jesus' voice, we can discover that he has indeed been there all along, preparing a place where the fullness of who we are is embraced in the fullness of God's love for us. My friends in faith, I pray that you will come to know your dwelling place as one prepared by Jesus to reveal the gift of God's love, forgiveness, and hope for your life. And I pray we'll continue to grow together as a sacred household, nurturing relationships that expand the reach of God's grace. Peace be with you.